Alright guys, a little bit of a different video today. We're fixing my floppy shaft. As you can see, I have a softness problem. Opened the pull this year and yeah, noticed that this really didn't have much spring tension to it. So took it apart, find out what was wrong with it, had to order some bits. So today we're just going to install them. Shouldn't be too difficult at all. I did, what's broken in it? I'll show you guys. It's this spring right here is broken. And that's the part number. There you go. If you have this problem, and definitely get yourself a gasket too, because when I took this head off a couple of days ago, yeah, probably like 4 days ago, the rubber O-ring in here, it swole way up, and I couldn't get the head back in. I actually had to, well, I did a few things. I boiled it for like 10 minutes, and it wouldn't shrink back in, so I ended up cutting it and putting it back together. It didn't leak or anything, but just, you know, get yourself a $9 O-ring while you're at it. So it shouldn't be too bad of a job. This comes off as an assembly if you just pull the screws out, but really in this case there's a pin right here because we need to get to the spring. So we're gonna have to knock this pin out and disassemble the handle piece of it as well. Shouldn't be too bad. Enough talking, let's get it done. Oh, and yeah, I guess a couple of things, you know, when you're taking this apart, you know, make sure you know where it is. So like I'll probably put it in the filter mode, knock the pin out of it, because if you put this in backwards, then you know your backwash would be filtration, and yeah, just you could get turned around a little bit. So it's just a diverter valve, in case you're wondering. I can show it to you when I take it all apart. Yeah, other than that, I mean, it shouldn't be too difficult. Let's go. All right, step one. Put your handle into A position and let's knock the pin out of it. This one's not rusty, doesn't have any crud on it, so I'm not going to spray it or anything. I'm hoping we can just tap this out. Yeah, okay, that wasn't too bad at all. So if yours is an older, you know, if you got like an older head or whatever, I don't know how old this one is, but if you had an older one, yeah, be careful. You know, you might want to lube it up or do whatever you need to do just to make sure you don't break it. And it's getting tight on the other side. There we go. I think that's us free. Oh, almost. Almost. Like Willie. There we go. So I did it slowly because so I didn't have to knock the pin the whole way out. So up to you. There's a little bit of a hornet's nest in there. I don't know if you guys are gonna see that or not. So we'll evict that guy. It's got a dead hornet in it. There is a plastic ring here, or like a washer. I did not get that. Again, this head's not that old. I'd say probably 10 years old. So I don't think I need to replace any of those washers or anything. I'm just getting these started, and then we'll hit it with a power tool because this is too much labor. All right, let's go. And like I said, I did just have this out, so hopefully I can just manhandle it up out of here. If not, I'll go get a little screwdriver, or yeah, let me go get something. Hang on one sec. All right, I just got a paint scraper. It's got a nice little beveled edge on it, so we'll just knock that in by hand. There we go. I wouldn't pry up on this, especially if it hasn't been open for a while. I would very gingerly just kind of work it around. And the only thing really holding this in should be that rubber seal. Now just be careful you don't damage the actual head, because then you have to replace the whole thing, right? And nobody wants to do that. So we're gonna take the cap off. Get rid of the hornet's nest. And then here's our broken spring. So yeah. Oh, there you go. You guys can see that. There you go. The money shot. So I've never had this happen before. I don't know if this was a defect. It's pretty weird. There is a little washer there, but it's pretty much gone as well. So hopefully that's part of the new spring. And yeah, it does. It looks like that flat is built into the spring, so we should be okay. There we go. It's pretty easy. And then I'll show you guys, I had to cut this because it swole up on me. So just when I was taking it apart to see what was wrong, I couldn't get it back in. Even boiling it, nothing worked. So I'm gonna go clean this up. Ooh, there you go. I'm gonna go clean all this up, and then we'll put it back together. All right, guys, that's all cleaned up. I mean, I just ran a rag around it, nothing too crazy. We'll put our new seal in, and that's a nice tight fit. Lovely. Let's get our lube on. So this stuff, it's built for, or meant for pulls or whatever. It's really, really good. I think it's expensive. I don't quite remember. I've had this forever. So every year I end up, you know, there's several things on this that has, yeah, has O-rings on it, and the chlorine will eat them up, and yeah. Trying to get this in where you guys can see it. Fast forward this. I'm sure nobody wants to watch this on the YouTube. There you go. Good enough. Oh, let me show you guys that diverter valve, just in case you don't know what this actually does. So, the chlorine. So if you look, it basically, when you move the handle, it turns this around, right? And it does different things. It backwash and filter and all that stuff. There's a waste setting too. So nothing too crazy. We're gonna set that right back the way it was. We're gonna make sure we put this is keyed, so you really can't get this wrong. My washer on top, yep, good to go. So right here, there's a little key sticking out, so you can't install this incorrectly. And obviously you're gonna have to fight that spring, right? So let me go get a screw ready. Super live's all sticky, so you know. Wash your hands off the touch there. Yeah, I think the easiest way is probably going to be just to draw that down. I mean, you can squeeze it down with your hands just fine, but I'll probably get it started and then just line it up. Should be in good shape. We just want to make sure that this is okay when we go back together, right? There you go. We're past the sides of it now. I'm just going to finish it off by hand. Give it the one handy. Yeah, but our seal went in just fine. So, yeah, not too bad of a job. Don't go nuts on these, right? You're going into a plastic head. And we'll give it the old around the house check. Make sure we didn't miss one. All right. And then again, right, so filtration here. Put our washer in, put our handle on. Your pin in. careful that he's lined up right, you know. You know, just don't go hammering it in. That looks about perfect. And there you go, no more flappy. Okay, yeah, that feels much better, much more normal. Yeah, perfect. You'll have a little play on the top, but not like it was, right? And you can feel it, you snapping back pretty nice there. So that's how you do it, guys. Pretty easy.